Alright, today we're going to go over the directions for part 1 of your CNC slope project. So remember, for this project we are going to take everything that we've learned about slope and show how we can apply it in the STEM lab through using the CNC machine. So our learning target is I can apply my knowledge of slope and linear equations to create a prototype and produce it using the CNC machine. So part 1 is our hand-drawn sketch. So in this video we're going to go over how to complete part 1. So first we'll read through the directions and then I will show you my actual example. So part 1, the piece of graph paper that you're given, so it's going to look like this, which you already have it. It is the first quadrant of a coordinate plane. So that means every single number that we're working with is positive. So we're not going to have any negatives that we're working with here for our x and y coordinates. When you are creating your sketch, you want to make sure that you leave, well, you don't have to make sure, but it's helpful to leave a 2-block border on all sides. So if you see here, I didn't start my sketch right over here at 0, 0. I left myself 2 blocks on each side, and then I worked within this smaller area. That's helpful because it helps to make sure that when the CNC machine cuts your project, it doesn't cut off the board. If you start at 0, 0, if you have a point for a letter right here, it's going to look like your cut is off the board. So, it's helpful to leave yourself a 2-block border on all sides. So you're going to sketch your initials, so you need 3 initials, your first initial, middle initial, and last initial, using only straight lines. So we are not working with curves because we're talking about slope and linear equations in this project. So only straight lines. Every single person must use at least 2 diagonal lines in their sketch, and every additional diagonal line you use is worth 2 bonus points. So if we look at my sketch here, segment 4 and segment 5 would be my 2 diagonal lines. I would not have, those are the only 2 diagonal lines that I have, so I meet the requirements of the project, but I do not qualify for any bonus points. So if I wanted bonus points, I could maybe make my L have a diagonal line here or here. You can get creative to incorporate more diagonal lines into your project. Alright, so what you're going to do is, it says to sketch your initials, number each line segment, put a point at the beginning of the end, and list the coordinates. So we're going to go through those directions on my actual example here. So you can see, first I sketched my initials. That's the first step. Then with markers or colored pencils or crayons or anything you have, you're going to color each segment, go over each segment in a different color. Now you don't need 11 different colors. You can see I used purple here and then I used purple again over here. But you just want to make sure you're not using all the same colors and you're not using the same color on 2 segments that are touching. Because the whole point of using the colors is to allow us to clearly see where each segment starts and stops. So I can see this purple line, it starts here, it stops here. When I change to pink, that's a whole different line segment. So you're going to sketch your initials, color your segments, and then you're going to label each segment. So you can see here, my initials are made up of 11 different line segments. Numbering the segments is very important because it's going to help us in part 2 when we find the equations for each segment. So after you have your segments numbered, you need to make sure that you have a point clearly identified at the beginning and end of each line segment. So if you can see here, I went through with my pencil and I just made these points kind of big so I could clearly see them, because these are the points that I need to find the coordinates of. So finding the coordinates of the beginning and end of each line segment on your sketch is the final thing you need to do to complete part 1. So we're going to go through a couple examples here together on how to find the coordinates. So on our graph here, we're working on a 3x5 by 3x5 grid. That means that 1 block on our graph is 1/8 of an inch. And if we wanted to represent 1/8 of an inch as a decimal, each block on the graph is 0.125 inches. So we need to keep this scale factor in mind when we're finding our coordinates. So the first thing I'm going to do is find the coordinates of this point here. So I'm going to put myself some parentheses here because coordinates are ordered pairs, x, comma, y. So to find my x coordinate of this point, I need to figure out how many blocks to the right of 0 do I move. So I go to the right 1, 2, 3 blocks. However, my x coordinate is not 3. Because remember, 1 block is equal to 0.125 inches. So to find my x coordinate here, I'm going to take my calculator and I'm going to say, okay, I moved to the right 3 blocks and each block is 0.125 inches. So you're going to do 3 times 0.125 to get that our x value here is 0.375. So I'm going to write that in. That is my x value. Now to find the y value, I'm going to do the same thing, but instead of counting how many blocks to the right of 0 I moved, I need to count how many blocks up this point is. So this point is up 2 blocks, so I'm going to do 2 times 0.125 to get that my y value is 0.25. And now I have the coordinates of this point. We're going to do a couple more. So next I'm going to go to this point over here. If you notice, this point is on the same horizontal line as the first point I was looking for, which means they're going to have the same y value. So if the y value of my first point was 0.25, the y value of this point is 0.25. Now to find the x value, you need to count how many blocks over from 0 that you are, and then multiply that number by 0.125. So here I am 9 blocks to the right from 0, so I would do 9 times 0.125. And my x value here is 1.125. Which, if you look at our scale, makes sense. Here's 1, we're 1 block to the right of 1, and we know that each block is 0.125 inches long. So you're going to go through and you're going to find the coordinates of every point on every beginning and end point for each segment. So we'll do one more together. Up here, this point is on the same purple line segment as the first point I found. So they're going to have the same x value. So my x value here, I already know without doing any calculations, it's going to be the same because they're on the same vertical line. So my x value is 0.375. And to find my y value, I'm going to look here. I'm going to say, okay, I'm at 3. I'm 2 blocks above 3. So I'm going to do 2 times 0.125. And I'm going to add my answer to 3. So here I'm at 3.25 as my y value. Again, I looked at and I said, okay, here's 3, 2 blocks above 3. That's 0.25 inches above 3. So I'm 3.25. If that confuses you, you can always start at the bottom, start at 0, count all the way up to see that you're 26 blocks above 0, and do 26 times 0.125. And you will get the same answer. So, to finish part 1, you go through, you want to find the x and y ordered pairs, the coordinates of all of the beginning and end points for your 11 line segments. In my case, I have 11, but in your example, you might have more than 11 segments, or you might have less. But you want to go through and find the coordinates of all these points, and then you are done with part 1.